When I was at school, I developed an interest in stocks and shares. Although I went to Grey College, Durham to read chemistry, I rapidly switched to politics, psychology and economics and discovered that investing in new issues, now called initial public offerings, was a relatively easy way to make money. My first big gain, making many times my initial investment, was Clubman's Club, an idea that would seem modern today. A membership card giving access to many gambling clubs and casinos. Gambling had recently been legalised. I well remember buying an expensive copy of the Daily Telegraph, sitting on the Champs-Élysées and interrupting an idyllic holiday to fill in the application form for the new issue of Ladbrokes. I left college with modest assets rather than the large debt which sadly affects today's graduates. As a working class boy with no city connections, I relied on the milk round for an interview with Phillips & Drew, now UBS, where I started work in 1969. There I managed pension funds, mainly local authority superannuation funds and charities. After 11 years I moved to Bristol to bring in-house the pension fund of an industrial company called DRG, best known for brands such as Basildon Bond and Sellotape. I spent the 1980s building up the fund from 70 million to 400 million. In 1990, that company was taken over and split up, and as I didn't want to run a declining pension fund with no company behind it, I set up R.C. Brown Investment Management. We described ourselves as an institutional city investment house based in Bristol. I gradually became more interested in corporate issuance, specialising in sub-underwriting, where the commission received by the investor easily compensated for the risk, and new issues which were usually priced to go to a premium and were an opportunity to invest in quality companies at the ground floor. We developed close relationships with the leading issuing houses and corporate brokers, such as Warburg and Cazenove. As an institutional manager, our minimum client size was £1 million. In 1995, many of my friends and business associates suggested we set up a fund with a much lower minimum investment. They particularly wanted it for their PEPs, which became ISAs. Hence we launched the Quantock Fund in 1996, which later changed its name to Primary Opportunities, better to explain our process. Many of our initial investors were directors of city issuing houses and brokers.